WingoTalk.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's hot topic is Silicon Valley once a landmark. Our first question is, what kind of people live in Silicon Valley? Okay, our first vocabulary word is iconic. That statue is iconic. Everybody knows where it is and what it is. The definition for iconic is relating to a famous person, place, or thing. Famous for a specific reason. Example, the Statue of Liberty is iconic of American freedom. The Statue of Liberty is the most iconic landmark in New York. Number 2, stay ahead of the competition. Definition, to continue being better than your competitors. To continue being a leader in your field. Example, I take classes about technology every year so I can stay ahead of the competition. Now, doctors, web designers, all kinds of people can stay ahead of the competition. Maybe they go to a conference or a special class every year to learn a new skill. That way they are as good or better than the other people doing the same job. This is what we call staying ahead of the competition. Number 3, hourglass. That is an hourglass. Definition, a device with 2 glass bulbs and sand inside. When you flip it upside down, the sand slowly comes out and can be used as a timer. Example, games sometimes use an hourglass to show how much time a player has to answer a question. Especially in quiz games, you have maybe 1 minute to answer the question or to give as many answers as possible. So you get a little tiny hourglass for just 1 minute, right? Number 4, techies. This can be mean or nice, but generally it's a nice term. It means you love technology. Definition, experts or fans of technology, especially new computer technology. Example, many techies move to the San Francisco area and get jobs with internet and computer companies. Number 5, entrepreneur. And we see 3 right here. Definition, someone who starts a new business. It's really simple, right? Example, entrepreneurs work extremely hard and take big risk to start their own company. One hint I would say is the word enter. We can see the French spelling of it. It's quite an old word. So it kind of gives you the hint that you enter the business world with your business idea, right? You have to go in, right? Okay, and for the story. Silicon Valley is iconic for its technology and startups that began in garages, basements, and college dorms. But what picture comes to mind when people think of Silicon Valley? For other famous places in the world, it's easy. The nearby city of San Francisco has the Golden Gate Bridge. And just an hour away by plane is the famous Hollywood sign that overlooks Hollywood in Los Angeles. Now, Silicon Valley wants its own world-famous landmark. However, Silicon Valley differs from other world-famous locations because it doesn't have its own famous look. The Eiffel Tower and cafes in the streets of Paris have attracted tourists, writers, and painters for over a century. The streets of Bangkok are full of energy and lined with food stands that make it a hotspot for explorers and young backpackers. Silicon Valley, however, is full of secretive tech giants that fear data leaks and work long hours each day to stay ahead of the competition. How do you make a monument about that? Many Facebook users have shared their opinions by writing comments on news stories about this project. Some people posted images of the hourglass icon that we see on a computer screen while something is loading. Others were less creative and wrote the Apple logo, a robot, a cell phone. However, most commenters disagreed with the idea completely. For example, a user named Joey wrote, "How about building affordable housing for your workers instead?" If there's enough funding and local support, the project will get started soon. There will be a design competition for designers to submit their ideas for what the monument should be. If the plan is successful, then techies and entrepreneurs around the world will have one more reason to come and visit the home of Apple, Google, Intel, and other giants. Okay, for today's chart, we have two charts today. First, we have average personal income. In red, we can see the USA, or the average American. In blue, we can see the Silicon Valley, people who live in the Silicon Valley area. Clearly, Silicon Valley makes more money, right? The average personal income there is almost double, about 30, 40, 50% higher, depending on the year. This chart ranges from 2007 until 2017, so a full 10 years. We can see that it doesn't grow every year, but over the 10 years, it does go up, right? Some years it goes down, some years it goes up, but generally, it's going up every year. For the Americans, however, the average Americans in red, there hasn't been that much growth. In 2007, it looks like the average personal income for Americans was about $45,000, maybe $47,000. In 2017, 10 years later, it looks almost the same, maybe a couple $1,000s higher, right? So it's very clear that the economy of Silicon Valley has grown, or at least the personal income has grown, but the US American average is about the same over 10 years. Next, we see the percentage of population speaking a language other than English at home. This is, again, much different. This time it's even more than double, right? The number of American homes that do not speak English at home is just 20%. But in the Silicon Valley, that number shoots up to 52%. Over half of the people living in Silicon Valley do not speak English at home. Now, they probably speak it at their job, right? They go to their job at Apple or Microsoft, Google, and they speak English. And then when they go home, they're speaking Hindi, Mandarin, Vietnamese, Portuguese, Spanish, all kinds of languages at home. So what this tells me, at least, I'm thinking there's a highly diverse population living in Silicon Valley. So you can talk more about these charts with your group. Next, we have discussion questions. Number 1, what landmarks are near you? What do you think of them? Personally, I'm here in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, and there's landmark 81 just outside my window. I'll show a video of it here from my window. I am a big fan of this tower. It's pretty cool. It lights up at night. When you drive by on a motorbike, it's even cooler. But generally, I think towers like this give a city some identity and some unity. So yeah, I think it's really cool. And I hope every major city can have some kind of big building like this that they can feel like it's part of their identity. In my hometown, we have a lot of windmills. I'm from the countryside. And that's kind of like the new landmark. We have these windmills that when people drive by, they say, oh, wow, there's like 300 giant windmills. And that's kind of a new cool thing. If people ask me where I live, I say, hey, do you know where the windmills are? And they know, right? So what about you? What landmarks are near you? Number 2. Do you think cities should help the homeless instead of building expensive landmarks? Why? Number 3. What landmarks do you want to visit? Why? It could be in your country or in another country, anywhere. Number 4. What makes a landmark famous? Is it the history? Is it how it looks? Do you think it depends on how tall it is? Share your answer. Number 5. What do you think would be a good landmark for Silicon Valley? Why? Do you agree with the people in the story that just some loading hourglass symbol or a robot or a computer, something like that, is that a good idea? Or do you think we should be a little bit more creative? Share your ideas. Alright, for the opinion, I ask that you use more details and you support your answer so that we know in detail why you think the way that you do. And of course, you can go to WingoTalk.com to write your answer so other students or your teacher could comment and give you feedback. The question is, if you could choose a landmark to build for your city, what do you think it should be? So enjoy answering this, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching our hot topic.